Hi, in this video, we're going to do something a little bit different than usual. So I had a session with a participant a little while ago, and they came back to me and wanted to ask a question, wanted to catch up and let me know everything that wasn't working after their session. And so instead I asked them to write me an email. And when I received the email, I decided that this email was not only relevant to this particular participant, but relevant also to all of us. Anyone who's ever had some level of struggle with the law of attraction, some level of struggle with channeled messages in their life and applying them, this is for you. So I did get permission to read out this email to you guys, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. As you know, I had a session with you and Vagrein in May this year in which I discussed the financial strain, lack of financial infrastructure that I've been dealing with for many years now. During the session, Vagrein made a comment, which was that I had made a figure of $180,000 in sales for employers at the time in 3 months. And if I'd made that money for my employers, then why not make it for myself? Which I'm willing to do and really want to do. In addition to this, the message and advice given was for me to know that I can have, I am allowed, and there's nothing to fix. And there's simply a case of me making a new choice for manifesting, creating, and bringing to me the things that I desire for financial ease. Jessie, I'm at a total loss. I've listened to that advice and followed it. I've put energy into my business with gusto and excitement and belief, and yet nothing has materialized financially, and now we're 2 months on. I'm working on developing my own wellness business, as well as building a network with great company with great products. Both of these are enjoyable and can bring such a significant income and much relief. And in addition to those businesses, I'm dedicating time to working on editing and putting the finishing touches to my book. While I'm getting the odd order from my website directly, if anything appears as though my wellness business is slowing down in terms of growth rather than growing in terms of sales. I had to go and do some emergency temping work to help me cover this month's rents. As of today, I'm sitting with zero money in my bank accounts and have not been able to pay my rent. All my bills are bouncing and I have no money left for food. I just don't understand. If I knew what was or is required of me, I would do it all day long. I heard in another session that Vagrein said that when you want help and support from the universe, a way to do this is to choose 5 important tasks and to-dos each day for yourself and then create another to-do list for the universe to take care of. I have done this and I'm asking for support and help, and yet nothing has materialized. I understand what Vagrein says about what one's belief is what one will experience. So given that, I've worked diligently on my beliefs since our session and repeatedly said and affirmed to myself that I now choose a different way. I choose financial ease. I can have, I am allowed, etc. And I believe I've taken aligned action in with those statements, and yet here I am with bills bouncing, rent not paid, and no money for food. I would like to follow the advice that everything is perfect, that I don't need rescuing, and that I'm 100% sovereign. But things very much aren't perfect. Things are not moving forward and are still very stressful and have been for the last 17 years. I don't know what to do and I'm hitting my head against the wall. Any thoughts you have would be so very welcome and very much appreciated. Love and light and thanks. Okay, so there's a lot in here. The reason why I decided to share this with you guys is because it is a very common experience that you find out what teachings are or what inspired levels of wisdom are, and then you go ahead and you try to apply them to your life, and lo and behold, nothing seems to work out. So several things are occurring when this is the case. And first of all, I want to say that I have deep empathy for anyone who's in this position, because it's crazy hard to be in this position, to feel as if you know universal truths that are meant to be working in your favor, and yet you're the one who keeps experiencing the opposite of that. You're the one who keeps having difficulty and struggle, and no matter how high you keep your vibration, something's always trying to kick you in the stomach or kick you when you're down. And that is not a great feeling. That is a very betraying type of feeling from the universe. And it is, or can be, extremely disheartening and bring you to the end of your rope, really, and you won't know what to do. So I'm glad this person reached out, because it does give us an opportunity to talk about what is occurring when you're having this experience. So the first thing I want to acknowledge in this particular email is how wonderfully this person is actually doing. They've said that they are working on all these amazing products, that they're developing their own wellness business, that they're working with a company making great products, and that they're writing and finishing their book, and that they are following things that are very passionate to them. So already in that is amazing. Okay, that is worth acknowledging, and that is worth really appreciating in oneself. If you're taking the hard road and you're doing the thing that is being called through you, regardless of circumstance, you're already 50% of the way there. Why is that? Because you've decided that you're going to live your life based upon your own rules, based upon your own desires, and you're going to live your life as opposed to some other life. Now, there's no shame in having to take temp work to pay the bills. It's a fact that we have manifested a reality and a collective that does have some rules and regulations and some systems that are worth honoring. They're worth honoring up until such point as you do bust outside of those particular systems, either by having that business already established or having an income from that book coming in. So in the phase that you are in, dear writer, you are in that before phase. Okay, so I agree with you. Things are not seeming to work out yet. But the great news is that you, as opposed to many other people on this planet, are trying. You are taking the route less traveled. You are forging your own way. You are the creator of your reality. Now, the positives of that, the ability to have the freedom, and it doesn't feel like financial freedom today, but the ability to have the freedom of fearlessness and courage to take on any of these projects is really, really commendable. And it will eventually lead you towards more of yourself. Now, will that more of yourself be taking another corporate job at some point, or taking a job and having an employer at some point? It might be. Will that future version of you be someone who is a published writer, who has a steady income from that and is well recognized for their wellness business? Maybe. The thing is, we don't know, because there are infinite possible realities for you that are opening. Right now, your perspective on them has been closing in with each challenge. Let's say your bill not being able to be paid or things bouncing. And I'm not saying to be irresponsible, again, with your financial situations. If you need to take one temp job or two temp jobs, etc., what is important is to continue down that route of slow but steady towards your dreams and goals, not cutting it off entirely, okay? And to continue to prioritize your state of pleasant well-being over everything else. So now, when financial troubles come up, or any troubles, actually, it doesn't really matter what your theme is, but when troubles arise in your journey, right, what tends to happen is you have your faith shaken, okay? This happens most frequently when you are stepping into your new version of self and when you are stepping into your new faith of self. So what you've shared with me is that since May, you have been doing that. What happens, because you're living in, maybe today doesn't feel like a benevolent universe, but is ultimately a benevolent universe that wants to support you, is that because this is a new version of you, your circumstances are checking to make sure to see how serious you are about what is coming next. So when you go and you try to open up a wellness business, or you are publishing a book, or you are moving into a new relationship, all of everything that has prevented you or that has not been in aligned with that yet needs to be burnt off or siphoned off the surface of your cauldron of delicious soup that you're creating. And this process asks you again and again and again, do you have faith? And in your email, you're saying you're practicing faith, but the email in itself is demonstrating that that faith is being a little bit shaken, which is okay. It's totally understandable, and there is no rush. Now, I do also understand that there's some level of fear and lack of security because of the nature of the challenge you're facing. So I'll just share a personal anecdote or situation or circumstance. So I'm a pretty high vibe person most of the time. I do have my dips and valleys, but I do have, because of my access to Vagrein, I suppose, and also because of my choice to every day go through those challenges, I'm a pretty high vibe person. Now that didn't prevent the universe from giving me the challenge of breast cancer. I've always had as my personal theme health as sort of the top tier of what gets shaky or what gets moved around throughout my experiencing. So I've had health issues in the past, and this particular one was somewhat of a surprise to me. What I know now is, first of all, it was an amazing, freeing experience in that even though it was difficult and even though, you know, your life is at risk, ultimately, when you say the cancer word, even though I had to go through that experience, what I got was the opportunity to be faithful. And in the period of my cancer experience, even though I took a lot of time and had to take a lot of steps back from my work and from my service to you guys, um, what happened was that I became, every day that the threat was getting bigger, more and more sure that this, what I'm doing right now, is my purpose in this life. And with that added pressure of maybe I'm not gonna be in good health, or maybe I'm not going to make it through this, or maybe, you know, I do have now an expiry date on my physical existence if I don't, you know, do certain things or make certain choices, um, cemented even further that faith that I had to be in service. I really began to want this. I really began to want to get Vagrein's message out, as opposed to sort of casually kind of going like, well, I'm not ready yet. I'm not good enough yet. I'm not this yet. I'm not that yet. So the doubt could have been, you have two choices, right? I could have said, oh, I have cancer, therefore I can't work, therefore I can't be me, therefore I have to be upset, therefore I have to lower my vibration, therefore I have to be in fear, therefore I have to be non-sovereign, therefore I have to depend upon the medical system wholeheartedly and have complete faith in everything they're proposing to me. Or I have cancer and so I better step it the fuck up. I don't know if you're allowed to say fuck on YouTube. I think I'll edit that. I better step it up. And um, I stepped it up. Now, that doesn't mean I was here creating videos every day. That doesn't mean I was bypassing any of the cancer stuff or any of the feelings with it. It does not mean that at all. I spent a lot of time in bed with my feelings, feeling really bad. I've spent a lot of time with my feelings of fear. I spent a lot of time with my feelings of anxiety. I spend a lot of time with my feelings of even relational stuff going weird. What I chose, though, even though I was spending time with all of these heavier emotions, was to see them as stuff being shed off. Okay, so I still had to go and have all the meetings with the doctors. I still had to have two surgeries. I still had to have biopsies. I still had to have weird things where they're injecting you stuff with radioactive goo and you're literally not allowed to use the bathroom at the place because they're like, don't pee in our toilet because you're radioactive. So I still had like all these really real and messed up sort of experiences in that. Now, is it the same as financial troubles? No, of course not. It's not the same. It's the same, but it's not the same. It's still an experience that is asking you, who do you want to be? Why is it an experience that's asking you, who do you want to be? Because all of the experiences, everything that comes into your field is asking you who you want to be. So right now, dear writer, you are being asked, who do you want to be while you can't pay your bills? Who do you want to be while it seems like everything is bleak? Who do you want to be while there's no food in the fridge? Who are you going to be? Because you know very well that there have been millions, maybe billions of people in your exact same circumstance who have chose to dive into despair. That's probably the more common option. And then there are those who chose to take this challenge as an opportunity, knowing 100% with faith that even though the thing that they're wanting is not manifesting today, they get to choose today, in each now moment, who they want to be. Okay. Yes, a lot of the law of attraction stuff the vibrate at the high level, do the affirmations, think of yourself rich already, the visualizations, the systems, the quantum jumping, the EFT tapping, the meditation, all of it can work, and none of it is guaranteed to, because what you're going through is not meant to be undone. It's not meant to be any different way than what it is right now. Everything is actually going correctly. And the feeling that you're having right now, as you're hearing this, when I'm saying to you that no matter what you're facing, everything is perfectly on track, is the feeling you're being asked to let go of. Is the feeling you're being asked to allow to process through your system. That sense of it being unfair, that sense of it being impossible, that sense of it being really shitty. Stay with those feelings. Stay with them. Allow yourself to feel the fear of, I'm not going to make it. Allow yourself to feel the fear of, nobody cares if I do. Allow yourself to feel the fear of, what are they all going to say? Just allow. Because the surrendering into whatever is the fastest way to get into alignment with whatever is. Even if that thing today is not your preference. You have control over one thing, and that is how you're going to feel ultimately after feeling the natural feelings that arise based upon your conditioning. How you're going to feel about your circumstances. So if you can begin to reframe as, well, I'm only going to have more money than this in the future because now I'm at zero, right? Or, well, now I have an opportunity to really buckle down and do more work. Or now I am developing compassion for everyone else who's ever been in this situation. Or, wow, look how amazing I'm going to feel when I pull myself out of this. Or, the truth of the matter is that it's safe to hit rock bottom because as long as I'm me, I can figure it out. I can survive another day. Or I've never really learned how to ask for help from others, and now that's what I'm being gifted with. So there are many ways or things or beliefs that you can take on that feel better than some of the ones that you are at risk. I'm not even going to say you've taken them on, but that you feel at risk of taking on now. So let's go back again to what Vagrein said about the to-do list. That is correct. You can delegate to the universe different tasks. But you have to learn to delegate too. You have to learn to have faith that that universe is going to deal with it. And so if it is lunch, let's say you don't know where lunch is going to come from, right? When a friend calls you up and is like, hey, can I take you out for lunch? Or, you pass by a place that's giving away free sandwiches because, it's the end of the workday. Well, then that is the universe solving that problem for you, right? So you have to be able to allow yourself to accept the solutions that the universe brings forward to you. And again, the fact that you did do the emergency temping work, take away the term emergency, right? Like you can frame it as, I'm so appreciative of the fact that there's always this possibility. It doesn't mean you don't have to work. Doesn't mean you don't have to make ends meet to continue along with your projects and the things you love. Often that is the case. My coaching work supports, and for a very long time, supported the channeling work. I wasn't earning anything from channeling at all. And so I was doing coaching. And before that, I was a babysitter. And before that, I worked in 3D computer animation. So we do all have a day job before we quit our day jobs. And that is part of the ways that things spin, right? But beautifully. that temping work is there for you. And you did also say something else in this mail. You did say that you have been very stressful for 17 years. Meanwhile, for 17 years, you've been hardcore. You've been nailing this. You've been surviving. You've been working towards being 100% sovereign. You've been working towards knowing everything is perfect. You've been doing the work for 17 years. Now, that doesn't mean that the reward is some sort of, mystical world of unicorns. It means that you get to keep being you for this human existence. We are not trying to manifest our ways out of being human. We're here to be human and to decide for ourselves what that's going to mean. So I really hope that this helped in some way. It's not a solution. I can't tell you how to make your bills manifest and create. But what I can do is tell you that everyone has got their thing that they're dealing with, and everyone gets to in each moment choose who they want to be. I'm very proud of you. I think you are doing the work. I would love for you to see yourself the same way, and in doing so, have a little bit of relief from the stress of believing that the world is going to fall apart or that you need to figure it out. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to find a solution. You just need to stay steadfast with that question. Who do I want to be? Who do I want to be? And want is the operative word, because need to be, I need to do this, I need to solve this problem, is always going to make you feel bad, right? But who do I want to be always gives you that freedom that ultimately you're really looking for. So that is my little coaching session for today. And I do hope to be able to see any and all of you shortly in one of my events that is coming up. So I've got a London event on July 23rd. That is a full day event. Tickets are already available for that on my website at www.jpherman.com/events. I am possibly putting together a New York City event on August the 7th and a Toronto event on August the 15th. Those are so close together, and hopefully I can handle both of them. But again, putting myself right in the fire for the things that I'm wanting to manifest and trying to manifest them anyway, even though millions of channels come up when millions of challenges come up whenever you're trying to up level. And this is exactly what this video is about. Then I'm going to have the Gaia Sphere event with Gaia streaming and live in Colorado on October the 19th, and potentially another October event in Colorado in Boulder on the 20th or 21st, maybe even 2 days. Still working out the details on that, looking for a location. So if you're interested in enjoying any of those events, let me know in the comments, because that will motivate me to actually create them. Because otherwise, if no one's coming, I'm not doing this. I have other things I can do. I can go do some shopping, see something on Broadway, have a wonderful day, eat some hot dogs or pretzels or whatever it is. And then there's my family. So I can hang out with them. I don't need to make an event. But do comment if you want it, because I want to be there for you guys. That's part of my calling, and that's why I'm here. And do remember to like and subscribe to my channel, because that is really where I can feel the impact that I'm having and really feel like you guys are present. So do that, and go ahead and watch another video, probably like a channeling video right now, so that the algorithm knows that you like this content. And I love you, and I'm wishing you well and so much faith that your challenges are beautiful for the growth that you came here wanting to be. Love you. Take care. Bye-bye.